Good morning, folks. It is a lovely morning here at my grandma's place. I'm actually just about to chow down on some breakfast. Check out the spread I got here. We got some eggs, we got avocado, we got this Kenyan chicken I made last night. We got a lovely coffee as well. So I'm gonna chow down. But I'm going to also talk about a book that I just read that I would say I really don't think it's an exaggeration in saying this is my new favorite book of all time. And that book is this behemoth. Oh my god, dust just exploded off me when I slapped it. This thing is a relic. This thing's from the 30s, the 1930s, something like that. It is For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. I cannot say enough praise about this book, guys. To give a brief summary of what this book is for anyone who's curious, it is a pretty chunky book. It's long, but the whole thing actually takes place over only 4 days. So the story is really compressed. It's really fine detail. We really get the interactions, right? Because it's not a long drawn out story. So they're really focusing on each interaction between each character, which I really love a lot. But the book is set in the mountains of Spain during World War II. And this man, Robert Jordan, American, who's lived in Spain for a while, been doing in the military for a while, and he's sent on a mission that is basically a suicide mission, where he has to blow up this bridge so this offensive can start. And he has to go into the mountains and find these guerrilla groups, kind of just revolutionaries who are just living in the mountains, and kind of enlist their help to help him blow up this bridge, right? And the whole thing is about him, talking with these people. All the different characters have totally different dynamics. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil it yet. I'm going to get into this book. I'm going to go crazy. This book is, oh my god, man, I love it so much. Just the way he writes, the way the characters, dude, all the characters are so well developed. Everyone, oh wait, one second, my friend's calling me. Alright, sorry about that. So, yeah, it's about Robert Jordan just experiencing this during this mission, and he basically lives his entire life in these 4 days because it's just so intense. He finds love, he's dealing with oh my god, I'm gonna die. He's kind of having to accept that he might die here, and what's gonna happen to these people that he's bringing into this, right? He's feels responsible for them. So there's so many different dynamics going on. One of the aspects that I think makes media really great for me is when you get to see all the various different perspectives, because then you're not just seeing one side and there's always biases if you're just listening to one person, but when you get to see all the different kind of aspects, all the different people, it makes for a really well-rounded story. This book does that really well. Some other things The Wire, I love because I did that. Oh my god, The Wire is my favorite show. That's so good. What was another thing that did that? Oh, I had one. Who was it? Forgot. Anyway, if I remember, I'll say it. But yeah, so basically, if you oh, I also never mind. Sorry, I'll talk about this stuff later. But I would recommend this book to anyone who loves fiction, who loves war. Well, it's not you don't have to be into war stories. It's not a gory war story. I wouldn't even say it's about war. It's more about the interaction between the characters and the stuff that war brings, the implications of killing and having to deal with your own death and stuff like that. But it's not really about war. It's more about the Spanish people. It's about so many things. It's about love. This book is about everything, and it's just so good. I don't know. I don't know how you could dislike this. Honestly, this book is so awesome. So I would recommend this book to literally anyone who can read English. And yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna spoil it. So hop off if you ain't read it yet. Go read it now. Ernest Hemingway is the GOAT. Okay, I'm just kind of freestyling this one, honestly, because I'm literally leaving for Japan tomorrow, and I gotta pack and all that stuff. So I want to get this done. I want to yap about this book before I forget about it because, dude, it's so good. I need to remember this book. So I think I'll start with talking about the characters. Actually, scratch that. I'm not going to talk about the characters. I'm going to talk about what the author did well and not so well. Spoiler, there's I don't think anything that I think he did not so well. But, okay, so what he did well, really develops the characters. You really get a sense of their personality, that they're real people. They're really flawed, but they're headstrong. They're all just beautiful people. Even, like, the smallest characters, like, in the part where... What's his name? Eladio? No, not Eladio. The guy is going to take the message to Goltz. He's sent by Robert. And you meet that, like, different lieutenants. And each of them has their own personality. And he kind of explains a little bit about their backstory, so you kind of see who they are. Like, so each person is its own character in fullness, even if you don't learn them in their fullness. They have a fullness to them that is evident in the way that he writes. And I really love that. I like the way that he describes sex. Honestly, I've never seen it written quite like that, and quite so sweet, and just like complete. I don't know, like fulfilling, so fulfilling. It's really beautiful. I like how he describes the scenery. Well, I don't know why. I never can really picture things in my head when people describe things in books. So I always, like, kind of just skim over them because it doesn't... The pictures just don't translate into my head for some reason, which is kind of weird. But I think he does a good job of describing it. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I didn't see it. I like how compressed it is. I like how deep the interactions are, how clear they are. How you get... the way he writes when he's writing Robert's part is, like, genuinely, like, I could see that in myself thinking these and doing these things. Like, he'll have some dialogue, and then he'll write, like, the thoughts of Robert, and then more dialogue, and it's, like, very realistic, or the way that he thinks, and he's kind of speaking to himself like a schizophrenia. Well, it's not schizophrenia. It's, like, I think everyone does that. Like, they talk to themselves in their own head. They're like, no, you shouldn't be thinking this way. That's not the way. Like, Robert does that all the time, and that's how he keeps himself in check, and that's a really realistic way, and it's not, like, he's... A lot of books I've read, I feel like the writing and it's like very fluffy and perfect. But this is very real, and I really enjoy that about it. What else do I like so much? I like Pilar. I don't know. Pilar's a great character. Oh, I love how you see he writes all those little Spanish expressions. Like, I don't really speak Spanish, but I kind of get a sense for the language. If I spoke Spanish, I would definitely have a more richer experience reading this book. And that's what I like. So if somebody was Spanish and they understood the country of Spain, they would gain a deeper understanding from this book for sure. And it's very real. I love when books go into different, like, experience different cultures and languages. You get to really see them come out. It's not all just directly translated in English. He has some little phrases in there that they use, like, give a. I don't even know what that means, but it's just cool. I'm going to start using that. Yeah, and you really see the spirit of the Spanish people come out. So there's so many aspects of this book that he really develops well, which I love. How he describes war and killing and the regret from killing. And yeah, that's the other thing I like, is that it's not... a lot of war books kind of really tone down killing and just make it seem like it's nothing. But this book takes it as something really heavy, and the characters are constantly grappling with what they'll have to do, and I like that, you know? You get to see what's really going in the mind of a soldier, because I feel like a lot of war books would just smooth over it and not talk about that part, so I enjoy that as well. Yeah. No, that's all the things. What he didn't do so well? I don't know. I guess sometimes the chapters were really long. I mean, I really don't have, like, any complaints about this book. Some of the stuff I just didn't fully understand. Oh, okay, I thought the part where he was talking about Gaylords... Gaylord... I thought that part was kind of boring. I got kind of bored of that part. And there were some phrases that I didn't fully understand, but I will reread this book, and I will gain it deeper, and I will love it even more. So I'm very excited to reread this book. Yeah. No, I think I'll move on to the characters or something. I don't know. I want to eat some food first. Okay, let's talk about Robert. My man, RJ. Okay, so at the start of the book, I like in that scene where he's recalling the conversation with Goltz, who's sending him on this mission. He seemed like a completely different person from later on in the book. Like in that conversation, he was very obedient, didn't like very very focused. Didn't seem like he would be distracted at all. Goltz was kind of trying to joke with him, and he was like not. He couldn't find anything to say. He was just not a funny guy, you know. Seemed like a very serious guy. But as the book progressed, you really see his personality come out when he speaks to these people. And he's a really well-rounded person. He's got a big heart. Like he's really determined on his work, and he can kind of switch modes. Like when he's with Maria, he's in one mode, but then suddenly he can like switch to another. He's like, no, I don't love you when I'm like this. Like I just need to focus. Nothing else can possibly distract me when I'm in war mode. Right? I think it's a really useful skill to be able to do. I think you need to be able to separate work and your fun time, right? He's got a big heart, though, like I'm saying, for him not killing Pablo. It's, he kind of, as weird and as disgusting and as pathetic as Pablo is, he's still a person, and Robert Jordan still knows that he's a smart person on the inside, and he doesn't want to waste life unnecessarily, although he could, and it would have probably made his... No! That's the thing, in the end, they would have failed without Pablo, because he brought the extra horses to make the distraction. So, Pablo is really the reason that any of them survived. And that's what I love, dude. This is a thing in the Lord of the Rings too, how they leave Gollum alive, and eventually Gollum makes them throw the ring. Okay, spoiler: if you didn't see Lord of the Rings, you gotta skip like a minute ahead. How Gollum like tackles him and makes him actually throw the ring into the fire, which he wouldn't have done without Gollum. So he had so many chances to kill Frodo, and he didn't. And eventually, he saved them. And that's what happened with Pablo. He had a bunch of chances to kill Pablo. He never did. And he thought it was going to cause his demise because he threw away the detonator. And it did cause Robert's demise. But if Pablo hadn't brought the extra reinforcements, they all were screwed, man. They had like 5 people. They were going to get fucked up without Pablo and those extra horses. So Pablo really caused them to survive. Caused Maria, Pilar, all those guys to survive. So... That's what I'm saying. Never kill people. People are always useful. People will always be good, you know? Just, I don't know. That's what I mean. But what else about Robert Jordan? He's determined. I like that. He has dreams. You get to see his dreams for the future. But then I really like the way you get to see his thought process and how he's like, he gets angry, he gets really upset about something, but then he kind of keeps himself in check, and he's like, no, you can't afford yourself the luxury of being angry right now. You are here working with these people, you need to do this mission, you need to be friends with them, you can't just sit and sulk, you need to be a man. I love that he puts himself in check like that, and even when he starts dreaming about the future too, he starts dreaming about Maria and the life they're going to live in Madrid, and then he's like, this is never going to happen, I can't be dreaming about this too much, I can't be thinking about this too much. And it did never happen. But, yeah, it's kind of sad. But I love how he's very determined to his work. And he doesn't think about dying as anything. Because really, it is nothing. And he's there to do his work. If he were to run away, he would be a coward. Absolutely. So he sees to die in action is valiant, is to put something good into the world. And because he waited last in the horses, so he sacrificed himself for the others, so the others continue to live. Because he knows that these are good people. He loves these people. And it was his duty to come here and fight and die. And if that he must die, then that's just his duty. It's what he must do. He can't think of it as anything. It's just the end of his mission, really. And it would be selfish to sacrifice, to run away and leave these people to die, because he brought this whole thing to them. He put them in this perilous situation. The reason he came here, that now Anselmo is dead, Eladio's dead, lots of people are dead because of him. And so for him, he can't just send them in there and then just run away. That's so selfish. That's not what a good person would do. You have to be determined, and he's willing to accept the consequences, which includes death. yeah, you see his relationship with his father and his grandfather, how he really respects his grandfather, but he's like, my father was a coward. I don't want to be like him. I like you see all the different aspects here, get to see his past, and how he experiences love with Maria, and oh man, it's so beautiful. Yeah, no, Robert's a great guy. Oh, and his relationship with like Pilar, he's joking around with them. I don't know, but I just love the interactions in this book, and that's what makes it great because the book is like all interactions. It's not long storytelling or recounting of events. It's just being in the moment, in the eyes of the people who are there, having these conversations and seeing the different dynamics unfold. Next character I want to talk about is Maria, because I want to talk about something that's quite relevant to me personally, and that is the love between Robert and Maria, and how they kind of dream and hope and lie together and talk about all the things they're going to do in the future, and talk about how they're going to be together forever and love each other for the rest of time and be one and all those sweet things. Even though Robert knows it will never happen. He knows it can't. He knows he's going to die. And I experienced a similar thing where with my ex-girlfriend, with my first love, that I kind of thought we would be together forever. Like, we would talk about this all the time and getting married and all this stuff. And then one day it ended, and I felt very bitter for a while, because I felt like, well, we promised each other all these things, and then it's all just gone in a matter of days. Like, how could this all just disappear when you made all these promises to each other? It was so upset, but like, they're not always real promises. It's just lovely to kind of enjoy the moment and be with your lover and talk about all these future plans, and it's fun and sweet and makes you feel comfortable and safe and happy. But it's not necessarily real. It's just hope, you know? It's lovely to have hope, but you can't necessarily expect it. You should hope for it and be grateful if it happens, but you can't be bitter if it doesn't work out, because life doesn't always work out the way you want it to, you know? Things come up in the way, and there's no point in being bitter your whole life because you didn't get something that you thought you deserved or you thought you would, you know? It's not a way to live. So yeah, I think Robert and Maria's love is beautiful, but at the same time, is that the way that we should all love? That was a very intense and rapid love, and they experienced it in this way because they knew their time together would be so limited, so they had to make the most of every single moment. But if you're trying to build a love that will last years and years, is it better to take it slow so your love will not burn out like a candle? I don't know. I haven't experienced a love like that. I haven't experienced a fast love. But I don't know. That's a question for you guys, if you guys have any insight. And that's a question which answer I will discover someday. But for now, I'm just here talking about my favorite book. Maria's a lovely girl. She's total wife material, this girl. She's offering to do all the sweet things for Robert. Oh, man. And he gets to, like, at the start, when we had that scene with Goltz, and he was like, I don't think about girls. But then he finds Maria, and he's like, okay, well, now I like girls, you know? You just got to find the right one. And Maria was the right one, for sure. They were very perfect for each other. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they were, whatever, compatibility, but they loved each other, and that's all that matters. She was a really sweet girl. She prayed for him. And her relationship with Pilar is quite interesting dynamic. How Pilar is kind of like her mother, in this book, and is like giving her all the advice and teaching her all these good things. And Maria is like grateful to have her and learn all these things from her and has a lot of respect for her. But at the same time, she's an adult. She is her own person, and as the book goes on, I think she disobeys Pilar and disobeys people more and more. Because of course, like, she's her own person. She doesn't have to listen to Pilar. Pilar just trolls all the time. I swear, Pilar is just saying bullshit a lot of the time. So it's good that Maria learns to not just have a ton of respect for her. Maria is a headstrong girl. She's smart. She's not stupid, right? So I think she's a well-rounded character. She's not just like a piece of ass, you know. She's not like a Murakami girl. She's not super deep, honestly. They don't talk a ton about Maria and her background and all that stuff, but I don't know. She seems like a real girl. No, I think she's not as well. Unfortunately, she's not as well developed as the other characters. She's only really developed in the aspect of her love with Robert, but you don't get to see really who she is come out, I feel like. Yeah. She's more of like a caretaker kind of person, like a housewife. And that's okay, like, but I don't know. Anyway, that's what I have to say about Maria. Okay, I'm back. It is the evening now. I'm chilling here, icing my foot, because I sprained my ankle a couple days ago. Where was I? I was talking about Maria. I finished talking about Maria. So next up, of course, we got Pilar. The Pilar. The GOAT. The undisputed GOAT, man. Pilar's a boss. She's a boss bitch, bro. She is awesome. So Pilar is like, she's super headstrong. She always just makes things into a fight, even if they're like in battle. She doesn't care. She will just like throw hands with anyone, which is pretty awesome. She always kind of makes things exciting, I feel like. And I think she's kind of trolling to a certain point, because she's just like, she's so old. She's seen so many things, and she knows what she can do. She knows what the limits are. And she's just having fun. She just likes like messing with people, you know. That's kind of her way of showing love, is screwing with people. And she has her moments of like genuine softness and sweetness that she has with Robert a couple times. Like, she's a genuinely really nice person and smart person as well. But yeah, that's just the way she is, and I think it's really cool. I think she's a great person. She's very maternal figure to the whole kind of posse, really. Yeah, and at the end, the scene. Okay, so the thing with the hand, I don't know. So she said at the end, when they were all kind of going to battle, she was like, "It didn't mean anything. I was all joking." I think that's true. She's kind of just a troll. Like, I don't know if any of that stuff is real. Magic and whatnot, and reading palms. Yeah, I think that's probably made up. So she's definitely a little troll. And then you got the scene where at the end, when Robert has to say goodbye to Maria, and Pilar just doesn't say anything. She just stays for it, because she knows it's the easiest way to do it. Saying goodbye and a long goodbye is just going to make things harder. It's going to waste their time. It's not practical. Like, they just have to move on and know that Robert won't be like upset at them for this, and it's just what they have to do to keep living for him. And she knows that. She's old, she's wise, she's seen many things. I really enjoyed the stories that she told about, like, in the village, when they executed those Nazis, and it just shows how war just really, really brings out the worst in people, and how you see the good people kind of standing by and being good, but then the worst of the people, they're the ones who really come out, and that gives them a chance to just show their true colors and be as terrible as they can be. War is really, really polarizing. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Pilar, and Pilar is awesome. I love her. She really keeps a rein on Pablo. I mean, you can't really keep a rein on Pablo. I'll talk about Pablo next, probably. But, yeah, Pilar's seen a lot of shit. She's a proud woman. She puts people in their place. She's a boss. She's awesome. Okay, I got some good quotes here. With like or not quotes, but like oh well, there's a couple quotes. Anyway, things to say about Pilar. It was in chapter 9, and they're talking about Pablo. And at one point she says, "Kill him, yes. Curse him, yes. But wound him, no." So like, if it comes to the ultimate, and they have to kill him to get rid of it for the benefit of the group, she's willing to do that. Curse him, because like, I don't know, the Spanish people curse a lot for sure. They gotta, you gotta keep each other in check for sure. But wound him unnecessarily and just be cruel? No, she doesn't want to do that. There's no reason. She's not a cruel person. Like she's a strong woman, but there's no reason to be cruel, right? She's not a mean person. She also says about Pablo, she says, "All my life I have had this sadness at intervals, but it is not like the sadness of Pablo. It does not affect my resolution." So, the sadness of Pablo is sort of, he's given up, and he just sees like there's no hope for anything, so why should I even bother, and just sits around drinking wine all day. But that's not normal. You should... I don't want to speak badly about people who have depression, because that's a real thing and it's very difficult, but it is a very good quality to be able to pick yourself up. You have to always pick yourself up. You can never fully give up. You have to always... You can be sad for a while, but you have to use that time to heal and be stronger and try again. And that's what she's saying, that everyone is sad sometimes, but you can't be sad all the time and just lame and sit around. You gotta get up and live your life. That's some real shit. Another thing that Agustin says to Pilar is, "No, Pilar, you are not smart. You are brave. You are loyal. You have decision. You have intuition. Much decision and much heart. But you are not smart." She says, "You believe that?" He says, "Yes, Pilar." I like this. I like the way he says that. And I do think it's kind of true, because like, she's very quick thinking and headstrong, like everything that he says, but she's not able to really like think as deeply about things and kind of plan like Pablo and Robert are, right? Like, they're men with a plan, those guys. They really think ahead. Like, every small action is kind of calculated. But Pilar is not like that kind of person. And that doesn't make her dumb, but she just doesn't think that way. She's a different kind of person. The cool interaction was after Robert and Maria did it in the forest. Then they meet up again with Pilar, and they're talking to her, and she's like, tell me about it, tell me about it. And then Maria really does. She bows down to her. She actually tells her. Even the girl was denying. Pilar kind of broke her. I think that was, I don't know, interesting dynamic. And she tells them that the earth moved beneath them. And Pilar's like, that's one of your only 3 times. You get maximum 3 times in one life. You're very lucky. Most people never get it all. And they're like, what do you mean 3 times? Like, you must be making that up. How is that? That can't be real. And Pilar's like, shut up. I know more than you. People of your age bore me. And I really do think that that's a true thing. But the gap between people in ages is that you can't... That's the hard thing. And this is another thing with Robert and his grandfather. When he recounted that story, how like he couldn't really connect with his grandfather. He thinks now that, like, looking back, he's like, oh, me and my grandfather were probably similar people. We probably could have connected a lot, but at the time I was such a young kid, like, I didn't know anything, and he has seen so much of the world. There's a huge gap in understanding that we just can't really connect on most subjects. It's kind of a tragedy, because at the core, I'm sure all of us are really similar people, but the just gap between what we've seen, what we've experienced, makes it really hard for us to connect.
But about what Pilar's saying about the earth moving under them, I've never felt that. That sounds some pretty deep stuff, man. That's pretty crazy. On one hand, she could be like she has seen a lot more than them. She's a smart woman. She's wise, and she probably knows she's right and doesn't want to bother to explain because she finds it boring. She's always explaining things to them. On the other hand, maybe she's just crazy. And she's bullshitting, she's trolling, and she just is like making up this thing to look like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Oh, you only get 3. Like she's just trying to look smart in front of Maria, and to kind of reinforce everything she's taught her and reinforce that she knows what's up. She's gonna teach him many things. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows with Pilar? I couldn't tell you. So this quote from the same chapter I was just reading, where it's Agustin and Pilar talking. And Pilar says, "You're a man of intelligence." Agustin says, "Intelligent, yes, but sin picadillo. Pablo for that. With his fear and all? With his fear and all." So I don't know what picadillo is, but I searched it up, and it's kind of like sly, crafty, tricky, kind of like little trickster plans ahead. That's very true. Pablo is definitely that kind of guy. While he is a coward, he is lazy, he's a drunkard, because he's had this sort of giving up. But that doesn't change the fact that he's really smart and sly when he needs to be. So even though he's lazy and he wants to just sit around and be drunk all day because he thinks there's no point, he still doesn't want to die. He still wants to stay alive. So he's going to use his brain to do that as best as he can. So that's the thing. As long as you keep Pablo alive, he's going to do his best to survive. He's going to try to help, even if he doesn't want to help you. Like, what's the point of him just betraying everyone and killing them all, like getting them all killed? There's no point. He doesn't gain anything from that, right? He loves the people, I'm sure, that he's with. And he's a smart guy. He's not going to do that. So Pablo is a very interesting character. I like how, I think, maybe I mentioned this already, but I like how he eventually causes the mission to succeed, because if he hadn't run away, like, even though he threw away the detonators, if he hadn't run away and brought those reinforcements, they would have had not nearly enough people to do the attack, because they wouldn't have had a distraction for, so they could blow the bridge. So it would have been screwed without him, honestly. So just because they kept him alive, he caused the mission to succeed. And I think it's beautiful. You always got to leave people alive. Anyway, I already talked about this, I think. Pablo's a funny guy. I don't know. He's a cool guy. Okay, this is a really great quote from Robert. Maria says, "Que va, it is thou who art educated." And Robert thinks, "Educated. I have the very smallest beginnings of an education. The very small beginnings. If I die on this day, it is a waste, because I know a few things now. I wonder if you only learn them now because you are oversensitized because of the shortness of the time? There is no such thing as a shortness of time, though. You should have sense enough to know that, too. I have been all my life in these hills since I have been here. Anselmo is my oldest friend. I know him better than I know Charles, than I know Chubb, than I know Guy, than I know Mike, and I know them well. Agustin, with his vile mouth, is my brother, and I never had a brother. Maria is my true love and my wife. I never had a true love. I never had a wife. She is also my sister, and I never had a sister, and my daughter, and I never will have a daughter. I hate to leave a thing that is so good." Man, I really, that's the thing I love most of this book, is the aspect of him living his whole life in this short time. Let me see if I can find the other quote. Okay, here's a good one. So this is when he's with Maria, and he's like, just enjoying it so much, man. "You will," the other part of him said, "you will have it now, and that is all your whole life is, now. There is nothing else than now. There is neither yesterday, certainly, nor is there tomorrow. How old must you be before you know that? And dude, that's so true. And I still don't get it through my head a lot of the time. But now is all there is. So you have to make the absolute most of it and treat it like it's absolutely everything, because it is. It is everything. And I think there was a quote from the Hagakure maybe about the focusing on your footsteps is the most important thing. It's what's directly in front of you is all that should matter. Because what is the point of planning for years and years in ahead when none of that is certain? Like, everything can change so quickly. I experienced that many times. There's no point in planning way in ahead because you never can predict. So it's best to just live life in what you can see directly in front of you, and that's all that really matters. So then there are characters. We got Anselmo. I really like Anselmo. I wish there was more of him. I feel like he didn't get developed very much because he's kind of like a solitary guy, but smart guy, really knows the land. He's seen a lot of stuff. Very averse to killing. He really takes it hard, but he's a really good guy. I like Anselmo. Very dependable. You got Agustin. He's a very foul guy, kind of gross sometimes, but he's loyal. He's smart. He's not stupid. He talks real talk. He's not defeated or anything like Pablo. Like he'll swear and give people shit, but he's a good guy on the inside. You know, you just gotta know him. Fernando is such a goofball, bro. This guy is such a yapper. He talks so formally. Oh, okay, Fernando's just I don't know what's for him. He's goofy. And then the gypsy. So he's kind of like, I noticed that at the start of a book, he was like, there was a lot of him and Robert talking, but then as you get later into the book, Robert, I think he kind of realizes that Gypsy is not a very smart guy. He's not brave. He's not dependable. He's not really anything. He's just not useful, and that's what him and Pilar and Robert talk about. That the Gypsy is just not dependable. He's a fun guy. He's a cool guy, but like he doesn't have any of the qualities that make him useful in war, in family, friendship, right? Or maybe I don't know, maybe friendship. But you need someone loyal, dependable, and smart, and the Gypsy is none of these things, unfortunately. But he's a chill guy. He's cool. About the ending of the book, I was really like, because, dude, when I was reading this book, I was like, oh, this book is so good, man. I just really, really hope he doesn't screw up the ending. I don't know how he's going to end this. Like, I don't necessarily want it to be like, oh, happy, everyone gets away and lives a lovely life, and they're in love in Madrid together, or like everyone dies too. That would be pretty sad. But I really liked the ending. Robert unfortunately had to give up his life. He sacrificed himself for the rest, and everybody else, well, not everybody else, Anselmo and Eladio died. Wait, was it Agustin? Anyway, yeah, Selma and Eladio died, but most people got away. Maria got on to live on for Robert, and I like how it was Lieutenant Berendo, who we had seen in the scene with El Sordo earlier. And I really like how he doesn't kind of end it. He doesn't end it like Robert Jordan gets shot. It's kind of obvious he dies. Like, he's not going to pull some miracle and, like, 1v50 and just kill everyone. Like, no, it's not going to happen. It's obvious he's going to die. But you don't have to write it. Like, he just writes that the last words were, like, he can feel the heartbeat of his, on the pines, on the floor. And it's like, you know what's going to happen. And that's wrapped up. You don't have to go forward 50 years and show that everyone's living a happy life. No, that the story is what it is. It's a short snippet in time. It's a 4 days out of the life of this man, the life and death of this man, Robert Jordan, and the people he meets in the cave, and the band of Pablo. And it's a lovely story. And that's a real story. You know, you don't need a happy ending for everything. I think it was a pretty good ending, though. I don't think it's an unhappy ending. I think That's to be expected. He knew that he wasn't gonna get the life in Madrid with Maria. And he did his duty. He fulfilled what he was there to do. So, I think it was good. Oh, yeah, another thing about Agustin is that he's very bloodthirsty. He really wants to kill. And I just kind of expected him to, like, there would be a scene in the battle when he would, like, get really, like, caught up in it and kill a bunch of people, and then it would cause his own death. It didn't end up because Robert kept kind of telling him, like, you understand why we don't just kill people. We have to be smart and lay low. Like when the horses came through and they had to lay low instead of just shooting them, like they would have been screwed. There was way too many people. So you guys got to get through people like that. You can't let your lust for blood or sex or whatever it is control you. I don't know. I thought maybe Robert would regret the thing in the snow because it's like his lust kind of caused the horseman to run upon them because he was outside of the cave because he wanted to be with Maria. And if he hadn't been out there, he never would have gotten seen. They would have been fine, right? So I'm sure he was kicking himself for that. I don't know. Lust can be very dangerous. Oh man, I can't keep this one too long. I'm going on my trip tomorrow. I'm gonna forget all about this. Yeah, I gotta go to sleep soon. So this will be a short one, unfortunately. I maybe as I got through how much I just love this book so much. It's such a good book. But I will reread it for sure, and maybe make another video where I can get more in depth on these topics. And yeah, it's been real, guys. The song for today is Jonetsu by Vaundy. My Japanese friend introduced me to Vaundy, Vaundy. He's really good. You gotta check him out. He's hype. He's really hype. That's it. Good night, guys.